Hey, welcome to this week's podcast. So glad you guys are here. Thank you for joining me. My name is Tami Gomez. I'm a celebrity life coach and manifesting mentor, and I'm here to help you get your shit together. Let's talk about that. Yeah, I want to talk today about worthiness. Man, I talk to so many people throughout the year and coach them. And it's not just average, what people consider themselves as average and normal. Um, I talk to clients who consider themselves extraordinary, like celebrities, professional athletes. And the one common denominator between every person that I've ever had the opportunity to coach is that they all have somewhere down deep a sense of not being worthy. And so they have a problem accepting gifts. They have a problem accepting love. They have a problem accepting opportunities or blessings or whatever it might be. There's always, I haven't talked to one person that hasn't, on some level, at some point in their life, felt unworthy. And so I want to have a quick conversation about that today. It's probably going to be a very short, potent podcast today, but I want to get a grip on this idea of worthiness, because worthiness is just a made up idea that's been created from humans. And I can explain this a little bit. As a kid, if you wanted something from your parents, you asked. And when you asked, they usually would say yes. And in the moment that they said yes and you received whatever it was, and you were like, thank you, showing a little bit of gratitude, or maybe a lot, not once did you ever ask yourself first, am I worthy? Kids don't ask themselves if they're worthy. They just ask. And then they wait for the answer. But as adults, we have this feeling of guilt or payback when we receive something, like we don't deserve it. And so because we have the feeling of undeservedness, we feel like we have to give back more. So if somebody gives you a gift and you actually accept it, then you feel guilty for accepting it, and then you have to like up your game and give them something bigger. Or if somebody wants to do something nice for you and give you a gift, your automatic response for most people is usually, no, I couldn't possibly take that, especially if you consider it to be something big. And it takes away not only your joy, but it takes away the joy from the person that's giving. So what you need to understand, and I've said this many times to many people, if you exist, and you obviously do if you're listening to this podcast, you were not created by accident. Because the creator of all things created everything with a purpose. There's a reason why there are trees and grass and bugs. Like everything has a purpose in this lifetime. And that includes you, because you were created from the source of all things. So if you were created, and you were born worthy. You were born deserved. You are meant to be here. And it's time to get over your shit. Because if you don't, If you don't create a sense of validation for yourself, self-confidence, self-esteem, setting boundaries, stop people pleasing, if you don't set up all of those things for yourself, it's going to be a really rough ride. You're going to experience people taking advantage of you, using you as a doormat. You're going to experience people abusing you emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. You're going to start living life to please others and so afraid to step out of that comfort zone and do the thing that you actually care about. I've always said this. You have been given the gift of free will to decide what you want to experience in this lifetime. God, source, creator, whatever you want to call it, will never step on your gift of free will. And the reason for that is because there are lessons to be learned in this lifetime. And if you don't learn the lessons, you are destined to repeat them. Take a look at your life. You may inherently know that you've been a doormat, that you've allowed people to take advantage of you, but you still keep doing it. And so you keep getting the same thing you've been getting. So what are you doing with your gift of free will? What decisions are you making? What identity have you created for yourself? Who are you? How do you walk the face of this earth? Who do you impact? What are you doing with your gifts? I know so many talented people that stay hidden because they don't think that they're good enough. And not only are they suffering, because they know down deep what they want to do. They know down deep what they're meant to do, but they're afraid and they suffer for it. And as they suffer for it, I suffer for it. And humanity suffers for it because there are people waiting for you to show up with your gifts, to be able to contribute to society in a positive, meaningful, impactful way. And when you play small because you're afraid or you're scared of what people will think, and you care more about the opinions of others than you care about your own opinion, that's when things go sideways. And then we dig this deep hole, and then we get to the point where it's hard to climb out. And if you don't have a support system around you, you can go to a very dark place. And I want to help prevent that because there's no reason for it. There's no reason for people to be suffering. The reason why people suffer is because they don't know how powerful they are. They don't understand that they are the creator of their realities. They don't understand that every belief and action leads to a result. Having this awakening of personal responsibility is one of the most important and valuable things that you will ever learn. When you understand and surrender and accept the fact that you are the one that is attracting the people and the places and the events and the circumstances and the opportunities in your life, when you realize that your vibe, that the way you think about yourself, the way you act and talk and move and believe is what is attracting everything into your life, when you can come to that realization and accept it for what it is, your life will fucking change. But for so many, it is hard to take a look in the mirror. It is hard to point the fingers at ourselves and say, Jesus Christ, this is all me the entire time. I've always said, you never get what you want. You always get who you are. So pay attention to who you're being. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself. Pay attention to the bullshit beliefs that you have that don't serve you. You were worthy before you even came into this physical body. And it's a shame that you don't understand that. Because without that understanding, you're going to be suffering. You're not going to be fulfilling your purpose or your potential. You're not going to be looking at the possibilities of life. And it's going to be really hard to show gratitude for all of the amazingness that you get to experience just by waking up in the morning. Every day I'm so thankful that I opened my eyes because so many didn't this morning. I'm so grateful that I have a healthy body because so many don't. I'm so grateful for the abundance because so many people are suffering. I'm so grateful for relationships and friendships and the people in my life because there's so many that are alone. And I show immense gratitude for all of those things. And as my cup overflows, I'm able to help more people to get their cup to overflow. But none of that would be possible unless I thought and believed that I was worthy and that I'm enough as I am to be able to help change people's lives. So what do you need to do? What do you need to do? What is your next right step? What is something that you could do today to begin to tear down the walls and face those demons eye to eye, toe to toe, and say, you are no longer fucking wanted in my life or in my head. You've done enough damage, and it's time for you to move the fuck on. I've always said there's nothing that you need to heal from. You just need to give yourself permission to move on, to stop living in the past. There's not a fucking thing you can do about the past. The past no longer exists. It was a moment in time that no longer exists until you bring that shit up in your mind. And then as you bring it up in your mind, your body begins to react to it just like it's happening again. And then you feel the trauma. Shit isn't happening anymore. Give yourself permission to move the fuck on. Just surrender to the fact that life is always working out for you, that it's always this or something better. And thank God for that. And show gratitude for it. And then look for it. As you change your mentality, as you change your mindset, as you change the way you talk to yourself, as you start believing, you'll begin to see the evidence of your life. Shit will start showing up in synchronicity all over the place, and you'll be like wondering what is going on. Don't doubt it for a second. Don't question it for a minute. You are the attractor, and you get to decide how this life is going to go for you. Not your mama, not your daddy, not your friends, not your boss, not your spouse, not your kids. You. You get to decide. You got one life to experience all that it has to offer and to make an impact on this planet. It's time to start moving and doing the damn thing. So, with all of that said, on June 1st, I'm going to do a 2 to 3 hour masterclass live on Zoom called Worthy. If you'd like to sit in and have a conversation with me for a couple of hours about this topic, where I can give you guidance and suggestions and food for thought, which is the most important thing in life, by the way, contemplation, then send an email request to T Gomez Team, TEAM, @gmail.com, and we will send you the link to register. The cost of the masterclass is $222. There should be a payment option at checkout if you'd like to split that up into 4 equal interest-free payments through Afterpay. And I would love to see you. It's on June 1st at 11 a.m. Central, 12 o'clock Eastern. Live on Zoom. You will receive the replay recording to keep for life, so you can watch it as much as you want. That is my gift to you. But again, nothing in your life will change until you change. You need to figure this shit out. And you need support while you're doing it. So get in the masterclass. I would absolutely love to see you there. I'd love to have a conversation with you. I'd like to say hi to you. I'd like to answer questions, and I'd like to be fully engaged in that 2 to 3 hour time span with you. Okay? So know this. I love you very much. And God Source Creator Universe shows how great today can be, because we know that life is always working out for us, and it's always this or something better. Yes, thank you, and more, please. All right? I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Have an amazing day.